Hi there and welcome back. Welcome back to day 4, stage 4, falling in love. Falling in love with you. This stage is really magical, right? Because this is a stage that everyone, when we watch these movies, is like, it's the climax. It's like the coming together. It's like she finally said yes, he finally said yes. They're both on the same page and everything that was the challenge has settled and there is this union of sorts. There is this acceptance. And so really something that I want to illuminate about this scene is that what I really like about this falling in love stage is it becomes almost the absence of perfection, right? We've met them and we've seen the highlights of their personality, of themselves, and through dating we've discovered that there is imperfections. And in the falling in love stage is saying I love you with your imperfections. It is the absence of perfection that allows us to fall in love, to honor all elements, all facets of one individual, of oneself. And so as we've been doing in all of the stages, this sort of natural evolution is something that I want us to start to positively inflict on ourselves and in the relationship with ourselves. So in today's action plan, we're really answering 3 questions. And these 3 questions are hitting different points that this falling in love stage really encompasses. The first question is all about desire, right? And the question is, when am I most drawn to myself? What are those qualities? What are those actions? What is that state of being that I am in that makes me the most drawn to myself? We're no longer thinking about what makes me drawn to others or how can I present myself in a way that I am drawn unto others. This is identifying when am I most drawn to myself. That in itself will elicit and show you when you are your most desired self, to self, not to others, but to self. And this is an important stage to become aware of. This is really the embodiment of being in alignment with our true self. When we are our most desired, not by others, but by ourselves, this is a really good place to become aware of. Now, the second question is all about understanding. Let me remember. Okay. The second stage is all about union, right? This falling in love stage is really where if we think about relationships with others, we're saying, I'm ready. I've chosen you. Out of a sea of choices, I've chosen you. And you make efforts and rituals around this choice, this union. And the same applies and should apply and must apply with the relationship with ourselves, right? When is it the most easiest to come home to myself? What are those communion rituals? And when we honor these, I am the most connected to myself, okay? I've created a Google Sheet to help you answer the first and the second question. The first being all about desiring. What are those desiring states that make you desire yourself? And 2, what are those communion rituals that make you feel the most connected, the most unified with yourself? And these 2 elements and these 2 qualities, these 2 states of being and action are so important to recognize and to continue to honor. Now, the third question, and this is usually the question that really elicits this feeling of possibility, which in the falling in love stage with others is such a driver. It is the driver of where the relationship is going. We desire them, we unify with them through our actions and our time. What is really leading this behavior? It is the higher vision we hold for this relationship. It is the imagination that comes back, right? We had the imagination in the crushing stage. In the falling in love stage, it comes back. It comes back in a way that is so authentic to the relationship. It is no longer this imagination that was predetermined by movies, by plays, by other people's relationships. This is an imagination true to the relationship. And again, drawing similarities, I want us to invert that sort of natural behavior onto ourselves. Let us begin to hold a higher vision for ourselves, knowing what we know about ourselves. When are we the most desired? When am I in the most communion with myself? And in fact, I actually invite you to go through the questions in the order that they're presented. And maybe after you complete a communion activity with yourself, then go into the third question and ask and answer, what is the highest vision I choose? I choose for myself. Keyword, choose. So you may wish to just answer them, and the simple act of journaling may be a communion ritual for you. So that in itself may already allow you to answer the third question really authentically, okay? This falling in love stage is, I think, those three elements. The ability to desire yourself over perfection in the absence of perfection. The ability to become unified with yourself through desiring yourself, showing up for yourself, which is, I hear time and again, the hardest part is meeting ourselves, avoiding ourselves. Once we become aware of how we are the most desired, I actually invite you to start implementing more of these qualities and elements of self-desiring before moving into your communion. And here's what I mean. For me, I am my most desired state when I'm dancing. When I am dancing, I want to be with myself. I want to just spend hours and hours with myself. And it makes it so much easier for me to then show up in my communion practice, whether that be journaling, whether that be meditating, whether that be meeting a fear. Once I'm in my desired state, I'm no longer in resistance of myself, so that when I transition into my communion practices, it's that much easier for me. Okay? And lastly, it allows me to hold space for that higher vision every single time. I'm excited for you to fall deeper in love with yourself. As always, I invite you to go into the Facebook group and share your reflections. I'm going to challenge you to take a photo of yourself either doing something that elicits desiring feelings for self, or you are in your communion practice. You can share both or you can share one, but share a photo of you in your practice. Until tomorrow, our last day, not the last day of this challenge with ourselves, this commitment to the self, but the last day of an orchestrated, structured sense of inner self-reflection. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.